When did you last feel overwhelmed in your business? I think I can honestly say this is one of the most common things that I see across my clients. Of course, I see it less once they've been working with me for a little while, but I can honestly say I think this happens to everybody every so often. Sometimes completely out of the blue, but you just suddenly have one of those days where there is just too much to do, there are too many demands, everybody wants a piece of you, there are no way enough hours in the day to get everything done, and all of a sudden it just feels too much, and it can feel incredibly paralysing. So because this is such a common thing, I wanted to share with you today 4 reasons why this is probably happening when it happens to you, and 5 things that you can actually do to combat it. Because I want you to be able to recognise that this is happening, take control and get through the other side as quickly as possible and get cracking, overcome it and release all those feelings of that kind of pressure and paralysis. So why is this happening? Very often it happens because you are out of control. You have no control over what's happening to you. And it is a bit of a spiral because when things start to get on top of you, it's very easy then to stop planning, stop prioritising, to work very reactively. And that just compounds then. And before you know it, this lack of control feels absolutely massive. So that's the first reason it may be happening, lack of control. The second reason, a very, very common reason this happens, is because you are juggling 18 million things in your head. You are asking your brain to cope with a million different things that it is supposed to remember. And when you have a load of stuff in your head, it is literally like fireworks in your brain. Everything in there goes at a million miles an hour. There's no logical order to it whatsoever. It just feels crazy. So you need to get everything out of your head. The third reason is that you are prioritising everything. There are a billion things to do, but you've got to do them all. They're all really important. Everything needs doing. And when you try to prioritise everything, it simply means you are prioritising absolutely nothing. So it's impossible to know what actually needs doing. And added to that, what an awful lot of people do is they fall into the quest for perfection, where you think everything's got to be done and everything's got to be brilliant, profound, amazing and phenomenal. It's got to be perfect. But you know what? There's no such thing as perfect in business. Everything is constantly evolving. It's much more important to just get things done. So how do you go from this place of overwhelm and feeling crippled with just too much to do to feeling calm and serene and being incredibly productive? Here are my 5 things that you can do to take control. The first thing I would recommend you do is a gigantic brain dump. Get those fireworks out of your head. Release that pressure of trying to remember and mentally juggle everything. That is actually incredibly stressful. So the first thing I'd recommend you do is a massive brain dump of everything that's in your head. Once you've got that in front of you, then you can really see what needs doing. So get it out of your head first of all. The second thing is then to take that list or whatever it looks like and understand what is genuinely important. When you're stuck in that place where everything feels important, there'll be some things on there which perhaps are the things that then make everything else easier, or they're the fastest progress, or they're the things that will facilitate you getting back into action. So understand what is genuinely important. Park the rest. Now you've written them down, you won't forget about them, but you can park them until the next day, the next week, the next month, whichever is appropriate. So understand what's genuinely urgent, but also look for some quick wins. I know often people say, when you're feeling overwhelmed, just think about what's the most important thing I should do right now. But actually, when you're feeling overwhelmed, it's often completely impossible to recognise what's supposed to be the most important thing. Whereas if you just look for some quick wins, make them relatively important quick wins, not just trivial faff, but some quick wins actually give you that feeling of, oh my God, I've got something done. I've made some progress. I'm not totally stuck. So quick wins can be a brilliant way to just restart your momentum and get things moving. Step 4, I would say, is then to schedule things in. When you've got that list, that small list of what is genuinely important, if you can schedule those things in over the next few days or next few weeks, then you will immediately feel calmer. You'll feel like things are under control. You'll only be having to deal with the thing in that particular time slot, the slot that is now, not having to deal with all those other things that you've got to do tomorrow, the next day, the next week, whatever it is. So that's a great way to help you simplify. And then the 5th one, if this is still, you're still not quite there, there's a brilliant little exercise you can do, which is the 30-second attitude adjustment. And all you need to do is ask yourself, what am I thinking? What am I feeling? What am I doing? And then ask yourself, what should I be thinking? What should I be feeling? What should I be doing? And very often that helps you to recognise that it's your mind that's playing tricks on you, that you're getting bogged down, or you're being very negative, or you're focusing on totally the wrong things. And it can really help you snap out of it remarkably quickly and get yourself focused again on taking action and making progress. So I hope those 5 little tips have helped you get a bit more clarity on what you can do on those days where things feel a bit overwhelming. If this is something that happens quite regularly and you would like a bit more support with it, this is exactly the type of thing that I do with my clients, and I would love to help you get past this in your business. So just head to my website, tailory.co.uk, and you can see there how I can help you. Send me a message and let's get in touch.